Well, we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A, and what we have got is a little bit of a run through of questions that have been provided to us through our Instagram post, as well as general questions that have come through off of Google searching. Who is the cheapest energy provider in the UK? Now, how long is a piece of string? There is many energy providers of the likes of E.ON, British Gas, Octopus, and probably some that I have forgotten. Inside of each energy provider, they will have different tariffs. I'm going to use Octopus as an example. Like I say, there is many others. Octopus have tariffs that are standard flat rate, where it is at the same price 24/7 throughout the day. They also have tariffs where they are cheap early hours of the morning. And what that allows us to do is buy that cheap electricity into battery storage. They also have heat pump tariffs, where there is 3 dips in price through the day, allowing you to charge batteries and run that heat pump there. The long and short of the question is, you need to sit down, look at your data, and do the maths for yourself. Can I claim solar panels as a business expense in the UK? Yes, I believe you can. I believe they can go against your corporation tax. So if you have £100,000 of profit and you have a £50,000 solar install, you can use that £50,000 against your £100,000 of corporation tax. So yes, solar panels can go against your corporation tax as a limited company in the UK. Is there any help for small businesses with energy bills? Now, speak to your local MP, speak to your council, because some local councils and some local authorities do have grants available for solar PV, basically under green incentives to make their local businesses within the towns and villages where they are more green and sustainable. We don't intend to get involved with them, but they are out there and you can certainly find them. What I do know is there is certainly grants available for solar PV in agriculture. Can I get solar panels for my business? Of course you can. Have you got a roof? That's basically it. So as long as you've got a roof, then we can get solar panels on there. There is some criteria to that, kind of, is it south-facing? Is it an east-west split? Is it a flat roof? However, we can hold your hand the entirety of that process. You might need to get planning permission from the local council. You might even need to do a structural survey of that roof to make sure that we can take the weight of the array. However, we can help you. We can look after all the electrical. We can look after all the bits to deal with the district network operator. Local to us, that's Northern Power Grid. That allows us the connection to the infrastructure out in the street, known as a G99. But yes, most, if not all businesses in the UK can get solar PV. And the best part is, your business operates when the sun is shining during daylight hours, unlike domestic. So you can take use of it while you're actually at work. What is the 20% rule for solar panels? 20% rule for solar panels. I believe what this question pertains to is sizing our array to our inverter size. So I'm going to use small numbers because easy maths. If we have a 1 kilowatt inverter, we try and put 1.2 kilowatts of array panels on there. Slightly oversizing our array to our inverter, allowing us to capture more generation on them dull days while not completely oversizing our MPPTs on our inverter. What is the best renewable energy solution for small businesses in the UK? Solar PV. Solar PV. Your business operates 9 to 5 during the day. That is when the sun is shining and you are at work consuming that electricity. Obviously, if you do night shifts, not so much, but most businesses in the UK operate during daylight hours when the sun is out. So solar PV for me, while the sun is shining, you're working, you might as well be generating and producing your own electric. Can I finance renewable energy upgrades to my business premises? So if you are able to get a grant for your business, then yes, do come to us with it. What normally happens, however, is we invoice you the full amount of the install. In this scenario, we're going to use £100,000 as an example. If you have a £40,000 grant, that grant is then paid directly to you in the scenarios that we've come across in operating solar PV for businesses. So yeah, normally the grant is paid directly to you and then you pay that to us. I think you'll probably have to supply some invoices and paperwork, which comes from ourselves to the grant company, but kind of all dealt with normally on your own end. Who is eligible for solar PV grants? Who is eligible for solar PV grants? Again, I've mentioned it once before. Reach out to local authorities, local MPs, and see what is available in your local area. I know some banks can offer Green Deal incentives for it, especially domestically. I imagine they may possibly do them also for businesses. But yeah, reach out to local MPs, accountants, local authorities and see if there is anything in your own local area. Again, agriculture, I know there is currently some out there for that. Do heat pumps increase home value in the UK? I want to say that depends who you ask. Me as a heat pump owner on my own domestic property, I would say yes. I know the advantages of having a heat pump. I know how much more comfortable it is inside the property. I know how much cheaper it is to run. So for me, having a heat pump and knowing what the benefits of one are, it would add value to a property if I was looking to purchase it. However, to someone that maybe doesn't have a heat pump, maybe not. But for me, yes, it is the latest and greatest in heating technology in the UK currently, and someone has already spent all that money on the infrastructure of having that heat pump fitted to that property. So for me, yes. Are heat pumps cheaper to run? Now, there is a blog post about this on our website that goes into SCOP, seasonal coefficient of performance, and COP, coefficient of performance. An electrical element can only ever be 100% efficient, which is a COP of 1. A heat pump, however, can have a COP of 3, 4, 5. So for every unit of electricity that we put in on an electric heating element, we can only get 1 kilowatt of heat energy back out of it. However, on a heat pump that has a COP of 3, for every kilowatt that we put in, we can get 3 kilowatts of heat energy back out, making essentially that heat pump 3 times cheaper than an immersion heater element for heating hot water. A gas boiler, however, even a brand spanking new gas boiler loses heat out of the flue, and the older ones into other places as well, into wherever they are housed. They can have SCOPs between 0.6 and 0.9. So yes, heat pumps are a damn sight cheaper to run than gas boilers and immersion heater elements. Some would call them witchcraft, however, they are. Is it better to charge an EV at home or on a public charging station? That for me is dependent on situation. If you do have the luxury of charging your EV at home, you can get units of electricity as low as 6p, if not even lower. Out on the road, you'll be paying anywhere between 45 and 75p per unit of electricity. If you can charge it at home though for 6 or 7p, you can basically fill a Tesla Model Y, like I drive, for around about £3.50 for 350 miles. So for me, if you have the ability to charge at home, that is the winner. However, the infrastructure out on the greater UK road network is that good now that if you don't have it, it is still out there. However, it is probably only ever so slightly cheaper than petrol or diesel to run, but cheaper nonetheless. Is solar PV worth it in the UK? Yes. What we have to look at with solar PV in the UK, however, is it over a 12-month period. Solar PV in the UK, when the weather is terrible, isn't the best. This time of year, December, January, we don't really gain a lot of generation. However, in the summer months, we reap what we sow and we generate way more than we need. Now you get paid for what you don't use, and that will go and sit on your energy provider's bank balance to pay for your winter consumption. So we have to look at it over sort of a 12-month window really. For any savings that we do have, we can't look at it month by month, but it's always worth having PV. How much will an air source heat pump cost me up front? That is, again, how long is a piece of string question. If you have a relatively new house with good loft insulation, good cavity wall insulation, and radiators that only some of them need changing, that could be anywhere from £10,000 to £12,000. If you have an older property or you want to put underfloor heating in there, and we need to do underfloor heating and install a water tank because you currently have a combi boiler, that can be anywhere from £15,000 to £20,000. So the real answer is it all depends on your property, but a heat pump will only ever be as good as the system design, and it is, in my opinion, worth investing into a full heat loss, which we can complete here at DMH, which is obviously billable, but then does go back as a credit if you choose to go ahead with your heat pump. It's all about the design. So get the design right, get the price, and then take off the £7,500 boiler upgrade scheme grant from Ofgem, which we again deal with all on your behalf. It's a really simple form we fill out and they email you asking for consent for us to claim. We then claim that directly into our account. So it really does just depend on your house. Thank you.